Simon Ekpa is a Nigerian-Finnish political activist at the center of the Biafran secessionist movement. Operating from Lahti, Finland, where he once served as a city councillor, Ekpa has become a polarizing figure, hailed as a freedom fighter by some, condemned as a terror financier by others. His roots trace back to Ebonyi State in Nigeria, the heart of the region he seeks to turn into the Republic of Biafra. After renouncing his Nigerian citizenship, Ekpa leveraged his distance to coordinate campaigns and issue directives without facing direct consequences. Critics argue this detachment lets him act with impunity, while supporters see him as a visionary leader for the Igbo people. The Nigerian government, however, views him as a dangerous agitator who has twisted a political cause into a campaign of violence and economic destruction. Ekpa's influence is amplified by his strategic use of social media, reaching a global audience of Biafran sympathizers. In March 2025, Nigeria officially labeled him a terror financier, escalating the conflict from political dissent to a national security crisis. This move set the stage for a high-stakes battle involving legal, financial, and diplomatic measures. Ekpa's story is one of ambition, controversy, and the power of digital activism to shape real-world events. Whether hero or villain, his impact on Nigeria's southeast is undeniable. Simon Ekpa began as a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of IPOB, gaining prominence after Kanu's arrest in 2021. Appointed to continue Radio Biafra broadcasts, Ekpa quickly built a loyal following with his uncompromising rhetoric. But ideological rifts soon emerged. While IPOB distanced itself from crippling sit-at-home orders, Ekpa doubled down, insisting on their necessity. This defiance led to his split from IPOB, but instead of fading, he established the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, BRGI, declaring himself Prime Minister in 2023. The BRGIA became his platform to mobilize support and issue directives, challenging both the Nigerian government and IPOB's authority. Ekpa's narrative painted him as the only leader willing to continue the struggle without compromise, appealing to hardliners frustrated by slow progress. By positioning himself as the unyielding successor to the Biafran cause, he transformed from follower to self-appointed leader of a radical parallel government. His rise was fueled by social media, which allowed him to bypass traditional structures and speak directly to supporters. This digital-first approach made him a disruptive force, reshaping the movement's direction and tactics. Ekpa's ascent marks a shift from collective activism to personality-driven leadership in the Biafran struggle. His leadership style has deepened divisions within the movement and intensified the conflict on the ground. Simon Ekpa's operation thrives on digital fundraising, targeting the Nigerian diaspora through slick social media campaigns. Platforms like X are used to run emotionally charged crowdfunding drives, tapping into the diaspora's sense of duty and connection to their homeland. Donations are framed as direct investments in Biafra's liberation, with the United States of Biafra Government X account serving as a central hub. The funds raised are substantial, significantly boosting the operational capacity of Ekpa's faction. Nigerian authorities allege that this money funds violent enforcement of sit-at-home orders and other destabilizing activities. The diaspora's financial support, mobilized online, is seen as the lifeblood of armed groups responsible for killings and arson. By using global payment systems and social media, Ekpa has created a resilient, hard-to-trace funding stream. Nigeria's attempts to freeze his domestic accounts have had limited impact, as his fundraising is transnational and digitally enabled. This model highlights the challenges governments face in combating insurgency financing in the digital age. Ekpa's most powerful weapon is his mastery of online propaganda. With over 185,000 followers on X, he floods social media with hundreds of posts weekly, dominating the conversation among his supporters. His content is often inflammatory, issuing direct orders for sit-at-home protests and threatening those who defy him. Graphic images and unverified claims of atrocities are used to stoke anger and justify violence. Ekpa's digital campaign is not just about messaging, it's a core operational strategy, allowing him to orchestrate unrest from afar. His directives, issued from Finland, are treated as commands by armed enforcers in Nigeria, demonstrating the reach of social media. Despite platform policies against incitement, Ekpa's accounts have remained active, enabling him to sustain his influence. Critics argue that lax enforcement by social media companies has made them unwitting accomplices in fueling violence. The digital space is his battlefield, where information warfare complements real-world chaos. Epka's online presence exemplifies how a single individual can remotely drive conflict and instability. In response to escalating violence, Nigeria escalated its crackdown on Simon Ekpa. In March 2024, authorities declared him wanted for terrorism and related crimes, signaling a shift from rhetoric to action. By March 2025, Ekpa and several associates were officially designated as terror financiers under Nigeria's Terrorism Prevention Act. This triggered immediate asset freezes, targeting his bank accounts and cutting off access to funds within Nigeria. The sanctions extended to other individuals and entities, reflecting a broader strategy to dismantle financial networks behind insecurity. The goal crippled Ekpa's operations by severing his financial base and limiting his ability to pay enforcers or run propaganda. However, the effectiveness of these measures is limited by the international nature of his fundraising. While his Nigerian assets are frozen, his digital and global fundraising efforts remain largely untouched. This reality underscores the need for international cooperation to make sanctions effective. The battle against Ekpa's influence is as much financial as it is legal or military. Ekpa's activities eventually drew the attention of Finnish authorities, spurred by mounting pressure from Nigeria. For years he operated with apparent impunity in Finland, shielded by local laws. That changed in November 2024, when Finnish police arrested him on suspicion of inciting and promoting terrorism abroad. The investigation covered alleged crimes from 2021 to 2024, marking the first time Ekpa faced legal consequences in his adopted country. Finnish detectives accused him of inciting violence in Nigeria through his prolific social media activity. The case signaled a growing international recognition that digital borders are not barriers to crime. Finland's intervention is a critical test of how nations handle citizens who export terror from the safety of foreign shores. The outcome could set a precedent for prosecuting remote incitement and transnational digital terrorism. In southeast Nigeria, Ekpa's sit-at-home orders have unleashed violence and fear. Armed enforcers attack those who defy, leaving communities gripped by terror, schools close, markets empty, and streets fall silent. Neighbors become informants, public spaces turn dangerous, and kidnappings surge as law and order break down. For many, the dream of Biafra is now a nightmare of insecurity and loss. This is the tragic human cost of a digital war waged from afar. The economic impact of Ekpa's campaign is devastating. Southeast Nigeria, once a hub of commerce, is paralyzed by relentless sit-at-home orders. Every Monday, and on other days, Ekpa decrees markets, banks, and businesses shut down, erasing a fifth of the region's productive week. For daily wage earners, this means lost income, hunger, and deepening poverty. The orders hit the most vulnerable hardest, undermining the very people the Biafran cause claims to champion. Long-term, the region's economy is in freefall. Businesses relocate, investment dries up, and development is reversed. Iconic markets like Onitsha become ghost towns, and the manufacturing sector is crippled. Ironically, this economic self-destruction is framed as resistance, but it is the local population, not the Nigerian state, that suffers most. Resentment is growing among residents who feel sacrificed for a struggle led from afar. The sit-at-home orders have become a symbol of economic oppression, not liberation. The cost is measured in lost livelihoods and shattered futures. Simon Ekpa's story reveals how social media has transformed modern conflict. Platforms like X, Facebook, and YouTube are now battlegrounds where agitators can orchestrate real-world violence from anywhere. For Ekpa, social media is the backbone of his operation, used for propaganda, recruitment, fundraising, and command. The speed, reach, and anonymity of these platforms make them powerful tools for incitement, but also difficult to regulate. A directive issued in Finland can be executed in Nigeria within minutes, crossing legal and national boundaries. Efforts to curb this threat have struggled to keep pace with digital tactics. Social media companies' enforcement of anti-terror policies is often slow and inconsistent, allowing harmful accounts to persist. When one account is shut down, another quickly appears, making containment a challenge. The EKPA case highlights the urgent need for stronger international cooperation and more responsible tech governance. Until then, digital echoes from afar will continue to fuel violence, proving that in the 21st century, conflict knows no borders.